I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. How many times have you felt that knot in your stomach before entering a social situation? How often have you held back from speaking up in a meeting or introducing yourself to someone new? These are the subtle yet pervasive ways that social anxiety can impact our lives, limiting our growth and preventing us from achieving the success and fulfillment we deserve. But here's the good news: social anxiety is not an immutable trait. It's not something you're born with or destined to carry with you forever. Social anxiety is a learned behavior, a pattern of thoughts and reactions that can be unlearned and replaced with confidence, poise, and genuine connection. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on today. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore the root causes of social anxiety, debunk common myths, and most importantly, equip you with practical, actionable strategies to overcome this challenge. We'll delve into the power of self-awareness, cognitive restructuring, and gradual exposure. We'll discuss the importance of developing a growth mindset and how to leverage your unique strengths to build unshakable confidence. Remember, the journey to overcoming social anxiety is not about becoming a different person. It's about uncovering the authentic, charismatic, and capable individual that has always existed within you. It's about freeing yourself from the constraints of fear and self-doubt so that you can fully express your talents, ideas, and personality. As we progress through this speech, I encourage you to remain open-minded and fully engaged. Take notes, ask yourself challenging questions, and be prepared to step out of your comfort zone. The strategies and insights I'm about to share have helped thousands of individuals transform their lives, and I'm confident they can do the same for you. So, let's begin by understanding the nature of social anxiety and why it affects so many of us in today's fast-paced, interconnected world. Social anxiety, at its core, is a fear of negative evaluation by others. It's the worry that we'll say or do something embarrassing, that will be judged harshly, or that will somehow fail to meet the expectations of those around us. This fear can manifest in a variety of ways: sweating, trembling, rapid heartbeat, difficulty speaking, or even complete avoidance of social situations. But here's a crucial point to understand: social anxiety is not a reflection of your worth as a person. It doesn't indicate a lack of social skills or an inherent flaw in your personality. Instead, social anxiety is often the result of past experiences, learned behaviors, and sometimes a mismatch between our perceived abilities and the demands of social situations. Think about it this way: as human beings, we are inherently social creatures. Our ancestors relied on social bonds for survival, and this need for connection is deeply ingrained in our DNA. However, in our modern world, the rules of social interaction have become increasingly complex. We're expected to navigate a myriad of social contexts, from professional networking events to casual gatherings, often with little formal training or preparation. Add to this the pressures of social media and the constant connectivity of our digital age, and it's no wonder that social anxiety has become so prevalent. We're bombarded with carefully curated images of others' lives, leading to unrealistic comparisons and heightened self-consciousness. But here's the key: understanding the roots of social anxiety is the first step in overcoming it. By recognizing that your anxiety is a natural response to complex social demands, you can begin to approach it with compassion and curiosity rather than judgment and frustration.
Now, let's address some common myths about social anxiety that may be holding you back.
Myth 1: social anxiety means you're shy or introverted. Reality, while shyness and introversion can contribute to social anxiety, they are not the same thing. Many outgoing, extroverted individuals also experience social anxiety. It's about the fear of judgment, not your natural personality type. In myth 2, you're either born with social anxiety or you're not. Reality, as I mentioned earlier, social anxiety is largely learned. This means it can also be unlearned and replaced with more empowering behaviors and thought patterns. Myth 3, overcoming social anxiety means becoming the life of the party. In reality, the goal is not to transform into a social butterfly, but to feel comfortable and authentic in social situations. Success looks different for everyone. Myth 4, medication is the only effective treatment for social anxiety. Reality, while medication can be helpful for some individuals, there are numerous non-pharmacological strategies that can be incredibly effective in managing and overcoming social anxiety.
By dispelling these myths, we create space for a more nuanced and empowering approach to dealing with social anxiety. Remember, your journey is unique, and the strategies we'll discuss can be tailored to fit your specific needs and goals.
Now let's dive into the first key strategy for overcoming social anxiety: developing self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation upon which all personal growth is built. It's the ability to observe your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors objectively, without judgment. When it comes to social anxiety, heightened self-awareness allows you to identify your triggers, recognize your thought patterns, and understand how these factors influence your behavior in social situations. Here's a powerful exercise to enhance your self-awareness: the Social Anxiety Journal. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on and write about your social interactions. Ask yourself, what situations triggered my anxiety today? What thoughts went through my mind before, during, and after these situations? How did my body react? E.g., sweating, rapid heartbeat, tension. What did I do in response to these feelings? E.g., avoided eye contact, left early. What was the actual outcome of the situation? Was it as bad as I feared? By consistently engaging in this practice, you'll start to notice patterns. You might realize that certain types of social situations consistently trigger your anxiety, or that specific negative thoughts tend to arise in these moments. This awareness is crucial because it allows you to separate yourself from your anxiety. Instead of being consumed by anxious thoughts and feelings, you can observe them with a degree of detachment. This creates space for change and growth. Moreover, self-awareness helps you recognize the gap between your anxious predictions and reality. Often you'll find that the outcomes you fear rarely come to pass. This realization can be incredibly liberating and can help chip away at the power your anxiety holds over you. But self-awareness is just the beginning. The next step is to use this awareness to challenge and change the thought patterns that fuel your social anxiety. This brings us to our next powerful strategy: cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring is a technique borrowed from cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's one of the most effective tools for managing anxiety of all kinds, including social anxiety. The premise is simple, yet profound. Our thoughts shape our emotions and behaviors. By changing our thoughts, we can change how we feel and act in social situations. Here's how it works. Identify negative thoughts using your enhanced self-awareness. Notice the anxious thoughts that arise in social situations. These might include things like, everyone will think I'm boring, or I'll make a fool of myself if I speak up.
Challenge these thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have for and against it? Often, you'll find that these anxious predictions are based on assumptions rather than facts.
Replace with realistic, balanced thoughts. Once you've challenged the negative thought, replace it with a more realistic alternative. For example, some people might find me interesting, others might not, and that's okay. Or even if I make a mistake, most people are understanding and won't judge me harshly. This process might seem simple, but it requires consistent practice to become second nature. The good news is, the more you engage in cognitive restructuring, the more automatic it becomes. Over time, you'll find yourself naturally questioning and reframing anxious thoughts as they arise. Let's practice with a common scenario. You're about to give a presentation at work. Your anxious mind starts racing, I'm going to mess up, and everyone will think I'm incompetent. Step 1, identify the negative thought. In this case, it's the prediction of failure and judgment. Step 2, challenge the thought. Ask yourself, have I given successful presentations in the past? Are my colleagues really likely to harshly judge me for a single presentation?
Even if I make a mistake, does that truly equate to incompetence?
Step 3, replace with a balanced thought. A more realistic alternative might be, I've prepared well for this presentation. Even if I'm not perfect, I have valuable information to share, and my colleagues are likely to be supportive. By consistently applying this technique, You're retraining your brain to approach social situations with a more balanced, realistic perspective. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine risks or concerns, but rather assessing situations more accurately and reducing unnecessary anxiety. Now, cognitive restructuring is a powerful tool, but it's most effective when combined with real-world experience. This brings us to our next strategy, gradual exposure. Gradual exposure is based on the principle that the best way to overcome fear is to face it in a controlled, step-by-step manner. The key word here is gradual. We're not advocating for throwing yourself into the most anxiety-provoking situation imaginable. Instead, we're talking about systematically and progressively challenging yourself to face your social fears. Here's how to implement gradual exposure. Create an anxiety hierarchy. List social situations from least to most anxiety-provoking. For example, smiling at a stranger, least anxiety. Making small talk with a cashier. Calling a friend on the phone.
Attending a small gathering.
Speaking up in a meeting. Giving a presentation, most anxiety. Start with the least anxiety-provoking situation. Practice this until your anxiety level decreases. Use the cognitive restructuring techniques we discussed earlier to manage your thoughts during these exposures. Gradually move up the hierarchy. As you become more comfortable with each situation, move on to the next. Remember, progress may not be linear, and that's okay. Reflect and celebrate after each exposure. Take time to reflect on what went well and what you learned. Celebrate your courage in facing your fears, regardless of the outcome. The beauty of gradual exposure is that it allows you to build confidence incrementally. Each successful interaction, no matter how small, serves as evidence against your anxious thoughts and predictions. Over time, you'll find that situations that once caused significant anxiety become manageable or even enjoyable. So, let's consider an example. Imagine your goal is to feel more comfortable speaking up in meetings at work. Your gradual exposure plan might look like this. Set a goal to make eye contact with at least 3 people during the next meeting. In the following meeting, prepare 1 question or comment in advance and share it. Next, aim to speak up spontaneously at least once during a meeting.
Eventually, work up to leading a portion of a meeting or giving a short presentation.
Remember, the pace of this progression is entirely up to you. The key is to consistently push yourself slightly outside your comfort zone while using your cognitive restructuring skills to manage anxiety. As you engage in gradual exposure, you'll likely notice that your anxiety doesn't disappear completely, and that's okay. The goal is not to eliminate anxiety entirely, but to build your tolerance for it. You're teaching your brain that you can handle social situations even when they feel uncomfortable. Now, as we continue on this journey of overcoming social anxiety, it's crucial to address the role of self-esteem and self-confidence. Often, social anxiety is intertwined with underlying beliefs about our own worth and capabilities. By building a strong foundation of self-esteem, we can create a buffer against the impacts of social anxiety. Here are some strategies to boost your self-esteem and confidence. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. When you make a mistake or feel anxious, respond with compassion rather than harsh self-criticism. Identify and leverage your strengths. Everyone has unique talents and positive qualities. Take time to identify yours and find ways to use them more often in your daily life and social interactions. Set and achieve small goals. Regularly setting and accomplishing goals, no matter how small, builds a sense of competence and self-efficacy. Challenge negative self-talk. Be vigilant about the way you speak to yourself internally. Challenge negative self-statements and replace them with more balanced, supportive ones. Practice good self-care, taking care of your physical and mental health through regular exercise. Healthy eating, adequate sleep, and stress management can significantly impact your overall sense of well-being and confidence. Remember, building self-esteem is an ongoing process. It requires consistent effort and patience, but the results are well worth it. As your self-esteem grows, you'll find that you're better equipped to handle social situations and less vulnerable to the fear of judgment that fuels social anxiety. Now, let's explore another powerful strategy for overcoming social anxiety: developing a growth mindset. Coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, a growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. In the context of social anxiety, adopting a growth mindset means viewing social skills and confidence as abilities that can be improved over time, rather than fixed traits. This perspective can be incredibly liberating and motivating.
Here's how to cultivate a growth mindset in relation to social anxiety.
Embrace challenges. Instead of avoiding anxiety-provoking situations, see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Learn from setbacks. If a social interaction doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what can I learn from this, rather than seeing it as a failure? Value effort over outcome. Focus on the courage it takes to engage in social situations rather than solely on the results. Use the power of yet. When you find yourself thinking, I'm not good at small talk, add the word yet to the end. This simple addition opens up the possibility for improvement. Seek out feedback and learning opportunities. Be open to constructive feedback and actively look for ways to improve your social skills. By adopting a growth mindset, you shift your focus from avoiding failure to embracing opportunities for growth. This can significantly reduce the pressure you put on yourself in social situations and make the process of overcoming social anxiety feel more manageable and even exciting. As we continue our journey, it's important to address the role of nonverbal communication in social interactions. Often, individuals with social anxiety are so focused on what they're saying or not saying that they neglect the powerful impact of body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. Improving your nonverbal communication can not only make you appear more confident to others, but can actually help you feel more confident internally. Here are some key areas to focus on. Posture: stand or sit up straight with your shoulders back. This power pose can actually increase feelings of confidence and reduce stress hormones. Eye contact: practice maintaining comfortable eye contact. If direct eye contact feels too intense, try focusing on the area between the eyes or alternating between the eyes and mouth.
Facial expressions: be mindful of your facial expressions. A genuine smile can help you appear approachable and can even boost your own mood.
Gestures: use natural hand gestures to emphasize points and appear more engaged in conversations. Voice tone and pace: speak clearly and at a moderate pace. Taking deep breaths can help you maintain a calm, steady voice. Remember, the goal isn't to perfectly control every aspect of your nonverbal communication, but rather to become more aware of it and gradually make improvements. As you practice these skills, they'll become more natural and automatic. Now let's discuss an often overlooked aspect of overcoming social anxiety: the power of curiosity and genuine interest in others. When we're caught up in our own anxious thoughts, we tend to become self-focused, worrying about how we're being perceived. By shifting our focus outward and cultivating genuine curiosity about others, we can reduce this self-consciousness and create more meaningful connections. Here are some ways to develop and demonstrate curiosity in social situations. Ask open-ended questions instead of yes-no questions. Ask questions that invite elaboration. For example, what inspired you to choose your career, rather than do you like your job? Practice active listening. Really focus on what the other person is saying instead of planning what you'll say next. This not only makes the other person feel valued, but also takes the pressure off you to constantly come up with things to say. Show genuine interest. Look for things you find interesting or admirable about the person you're talking to and express that interest sincerely. Follow up on details. Remember details from previous conversations and ask about them in future interactions. This shows that you are paying attention and care about what's going on in their life. Share your own experiences. When appropriate, share your own related experiences or thoughts. This helps create a balanced, two-way conversation.
By focusing on curiosity and genuine interest, you're not only creating more enjoyable and meaningful interactions for others, but you're also giving yourself a mental task that can distract from anxious thoughts. Over time, this outward focus can become a natural part of your social interactions, reducing anxiety and increasing enjoyment.
As we near the conclusion of our discussion on overcoming social anxiety, it's crucial to address the importance of self-care and stress management. Social anxiety doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's often exacerbated by overall stress levels and poor self-care habits. By prioritizing your overall well-being, you'll be better equipped to handle social situations with confidence and ease. Here are some key self-care strategies to incorporate into your daily life. Prioritize sleep. Adequate sleep is crucial for emotional regulation and stress management. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Exercise regularly. Physical activity is a powerful stress reducer and mood booster. Find forms of exercise you enjoy and make them a consistent part of your routine. Practice mindfulness or meditation. These techniques can help you stay grounded in the present moment and reduce anxiety about future social interactions. Maintain a balanced diet. Proper nutrition supports overall mental health. Be mindful of caffeine and alcohol intake, as these can sometimes exacerbate anxiety symptoms. Engage in activities you enjoy. Regularly participating in hobbies or activities that bring you joy can boost your overall sense of well-being and confidence. Set boundaries. Learn to say no to commitments that overwhelm you. It's okay to prioritize your mental health and energy levels. Seek support, whether it's friends, family, or a professional therapist. Having a support system is crucial in your journey to overcome social anxiety.
Remember, self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. By taking care of yourself, you're ensuring that you have the emotional and physical resources to face social situations with resilience and confidence.
Now, as we bring our discussion to a close, I want to emphasize a crucial point. Overcoming social anxiety is a journey, not a destination. It's not about reaching a point where you never feel anxious in social situations. Rather, it's about developing the tools, mindset, and resilience to manage anxiety effectively and live a full, connected life despite occasional feelings of nervousness or discomfort. Let's recap the key strategies we've discussed. Develop self-awareness through practices like journaling. Use cognitive restructuring to challenge and change anxious thoughts. Engage in gradual exposure to build confidence in social situations.
Build self-esteem and leverage your unique strengths.
Adopt a growth mindset, viewing social skills as abilities that can be improved. Improve your nonverbal communication to both appear and feel more confident. Cultivate curiosity and genuine interest in others to shift focus away from self-consciousness. Prioritize self-care and stress management to support your overall well-being. As you implement these strategies, remember to be patient and kind with yourself. Progress may not always be linear, and that's okay. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and view setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. I encourage you to start small. Choose 1 or 2 strategies that resonate with you and begin incorporating them into your daily life. As these become more natural, gradually add more techniques to your toolkit. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Social anxiety is a common experience, and by taking steps to address it, you're joining countless others who have successfully managed and overcome their anxiety to lead fulfilling, connected lives. Imagine the possibilities that await you as you continue to build your confidence and reduce your social anxiety. Picture yourself engaging comfortably in conversations, expressing your ideas freely in meetings, or even taking on leadership roles. These are not just distant dreams, they are real possibilities as you apply the strategies we've discussed and continue to push yourself gently outside your comfort zone. In conclusion, overcoming social anxiety is about reclaiming your power and living life on your own terms. It's about freeing yourself from the constraints of fear and self-doubt so that you can fully express your authentic self and connect meaningfully with others. As you leave here today, I challenge you to take one small step towards facing your social anxiety. It might be striking up a conversation with a colleague, attending a social event you would normally avoid, or simply practicing positive self-talk before a potentially anxiety-provoking situation.
Remember, Every journey begins with a single step. Your journey to overcoming social anxiety starts now. Embrace it with courage, patience, and self-compassion. You have the power within you to transform your relationship with social situations and, in doing so, to transform your life.
Thank you for your attention and participation. I believe in your ability to overcome social anxiety and create the confident, connected life you desire. Now go forth and take that first step. Your future self will thank you for the courage you showed today.